right now, we're going straight to the meet and greet. So I would like to just start by welcoming everyone. So I remember the first person who was here was, I think, New Moms Lounge. So welcome, New Moms Lounge. Welcome, Johnson Asane, joining us all the way from Kaduna. Welcome, Mrs. Wankwala, joining us all the way from River State. Let me see. Welcome, Mrs. Okata, joining us all the way from Hope Spring Foundation School, Port Harcourt. You're welcome. We're happy to have you here. I'm just scrolling through so I can see your name and where you're joining us from. So, welcome, Ngozi, joining us all the way from Lagos State. It's great to have you here. Welcome, Olufisayo, joining us all the way from Agege, Lagos State. We're happy to have you here. Welcome, Umuna Uchenna Kelechi, joining us all the way from River State. And if you are here and you haven't introduced yourself, kindly put your name in the chat box and where you're joining us from. Thank you, Odion Jocelyn, joining us all the way from Warri. We're happy to have you here. Thank you, Elora Omuso, joining us all the way from Port Harcourt. We're happy to have you here. Thank you, Mrs. Ediri Ororo, joining us all the way from Port Harcourt. We're happy to have you here. So I'm trying to see if I have missed anyone's name so far. I know I saw quite a few people who have joined in who haven't told us where they're joining us from. So if you are here already and I haven't called your name, welcome, and it's great to have you here as well. All right, so today is going to be the start of a very exciting day. Okay, thank you, Serima Batubo, for joining us all the way from Port Harcourt. Thank you, Soton Iselubo, joining us from Port Harcourt. Thank you, Ebele Ibekwe, joining us from Lagos. It's really quite exciting, the opportunity that technology affords us to be able to have this amazing meeting and just be in different places at the same time. But then we're all collaborating and working together, learning and communicating here. It's really exciting. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Mr. Akin Benjamin. This thank you is special, and you know it is. Thank you, Mr. Akin Benjamin, for joining us all the way from Lagos. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, Ajibade Ario, joining us all the way from Ibadan. Thank you, Julian Upong, joining us all the way from Port Harcourt. Have I missed anybody so far? Okay, well, in the chat box. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mrs. Nikade, or rather, Dr. Nikade, for joining us all the way from Yanagawa, Bayelsa State. And please, I hope that everyone can hear me properly, or I hope that you're not having issues hearing me. So please, if you can hear me, just try to put a thumbs up in the chat box, or just say yes, just so I know that my link is okay and everyone can hear me correctly. Okay, so while I wait for that, oh, okay, great. So at least I know. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you very much, everyone, for the feedback. Okay, so now you get to meet the team, the beautiful faces behind the emails, the phone calls, and everything that you've been getting about this meeting. Who are these people? Okay, so meet the team. So of course, like I told you before, my name is Susan Charles, and I'm a team member for MKB Consulting, and I am your host for today's meeting. And you get to meet the beautiful Chinwe Eze. She's an amazing ICT personnel, and we're happy to have her here as part of the team. Next up, you get to meet Mrs. Esther Chibuzo. She's also a member of the team, and we're happy to have her here. Up next, we have Ugochi Okorie. We're happy to have her as part of the team. This woman, for those of us that know her, we'll know her as the creative educator. So we're happy to have her as part of the team. And then we have the beautiful Oluwatobi Oyedele. We're also happy to have her as part of the team. And just so you don't feel like we are marginalizing people, we definitely have men here. We have our own Mr. Joseph Igo. Thank you so much. Mr. Joseph Igo is a powerhouse, and trust me, as the webinar series comments and everything, you will get to see how much of a powerhouse Mr. Joseph is. We also have our very own Namdi. I call him Chief Namdi of everywhere. Namdi is a veritable force, and he is always available for support and help. And then we have our very own Mr. K. Badipe. He's a team lead, and you'll be hearing a lot from him, or you'll be hearing from him sometime later on during the presentation. So these are the beautiful and handsome faces behind this entire program today. All right, so we have a couple of emerging trends that we'll be looking at with this cohort, and I'll just briefly take you through each of them. So we'll be looking at digital responsibility, we'll be looking at life skills and workforce preparation, we'll be looking at computational thinking, student-led learning, collaborative classrooms, and innovating pedagogy. So I will just give you an overview of each of these trends, and then what days we'll be having the webinars. So we'll be kicking off the entire series next week with digital responsibility, where children get to learn about digital literacy, digital safety, and learning more about their digital footprint and how to be intentional with it. So that will kick off on the 14th of January 2022. And then we have life skills and workforce preparation, which would be basically teaching our children about the skills of the future. They need to learn things like design thinking, problem solving, critical thinking, and entrepreneurial skills, to having an entrepreneurial mindset, and then project-based learning. So this will kick off on the 4th of February. That's the date that the webinar would show. So 4th February 2022. And then we have computational thinking, which looks at how to engage science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And this is done through coding. So there's so many exciting things you need to look in there. And it shows on the 25th of February 2022. And then we have student-led learning. So student-led learning has 2 webinars. The first one will be showing on the 18th of March 2022. And the second one will be showing on the 8th of April 2022. Next, we have collaborative classrooms, which will show on the 29th of April 2022. And then we have Innovating Pedagogy. Innovating Pedagogy also has 2 webinars. The first one showing on the 20th of May 2022, and the last one for this series showing on the 10th of June 2022. So, as I mentioned before, this entire series is brought to you courtesy of MKB Consulting. MKB Consulting is the Google for Education partner for West Africa, and we're excited to provide an opportunity to transform education using Google tools with you, of course. Okay, so what is the whole essence behind everything we're even doing here? Now, we believe that every teacher has a story to tell in your classroom. Every day you are affecting lives, every day you are changing lives, every day you are teaching children. And Google is always looking for these stories to share with the global audience. So they're putting in a lot of money into this, and they're trying to make sure that the world sees what is going on in African classrooms. Generally, when we go online, sometimes we find a lot of foreign content, but it's exciting that this time we get to see a lot of what goes on in our classrooms, and so we are seeing education and digital transformation from an African point of view. All right? Now, it's really worrisome that the world changed, you know, in the space of how many years. The world has completely changed. Education also has changed. But the method that we used to deliver learning in the classroom, sadly, has sort of remained the same. But we know that the world of work, I mean, when they did that future report, when the World Economic Forum did the skills that would be needed in 2022, it seemed like it was something futuristic. But here we are in 2022, and most children are still learning the way we were taught in the early 2000s or even in the 90s. So this time we don't need people with the traditional skill set anymore. We need problem solvers. We need innovative thinkers. We need well-rounded professionals. We need creative and innovative children. We need people who can take the lead, all right? So we cannot do this by ourselves or on our own. We believe that we need you all to drive this impact. We need you all. Together we can make a difference. Together we can change the face of education and indeed show that there are no limits to what we can achieve when we work together to improve education in Nigeria and indeed in Africa. All right. So as part of this cohort, what are the things we expect from you? We believe that your contributions matter. So you'll be giving us weekly feedback on how you're finding the series. If you have any questions, you can ask. Feel free to ask any of the team members. We have a WhatsApp group for support, and I'm sure that the link to join the WhatsApp group will be put in the chat box, so you can join if you haven't joined in already. We'll also be sending you the link via email. So if you haven't joined in or you cannot join in from here, look out for the email that you receive and then join the group, because we want to have a lot of communication with you. We will take your feedback, we would apply it, and we'll see how it goes as we go forward so that together we can make a difference. Now, as you attend the webinars and then you begin to implement the resource packs, we also have resource packs, which are the curriculum materials in your classroom. The only way we know what you're doing and the only way we can share in your transformational story will be when you share your materials with us. So we would expect that you would share with us pictures and videos. As the cohort commences, each school that is represented here will have their own separate folder. So we'll share the link for your own folder with you via Google Drive, and then all you need to do is your pictures, your videos, the materials that you get, the evidence really that we can see from what you are doing that we would now share on social media. We would love to see it in there. So please make sure that you are providing this information. I will show you step by step what exactly we expect from you. If you have any challenges or anything, kindly feel free to reach out to us so that we know how we can support you. So just find here a couple of pictures from the cohort 1, some success stories, kind of like what I just asked you to provide for us. Now you can see children working on different materials, some of them working on the gaming website that is available, which I will show you shortly. Some of them working on different coding projects. It was so exciting, trust me. Oh, I think that for me, this was the very best. Children actually creating artwork, you just using conditional formatting on Google Sheets. It was really exciting. So this is called pixel art, and this is just one of the activities that children can learn to do from one of the resource packs available in this series. Okay, now you can see a school here. They were having an augmented reality class while singing Baby Shark. They had a shark visit their classroom, and this is a shark that couldn't bite them, and they could just look at it, and the shark was actually moving along as they were singing. It was really quite exciting for them. Okay, so we have exclusive content about what we were able to achieve here. Okay, now this was really exciting. There was a site put together, and this site we were able to see a lot of things. So everything that we did in that cohort was actually hosted on this site. Now, the exciting thing about it is this site will be having something like this for this cohort as well. So it's something you can share with your parents and share with people. I will just quickly show you the digital responsibility part of it, just so you see what it looks like and exactly what you'll be getting out of this entire program. So you see digital responsibility. If you scroll all the way down, you see this is the webinar. This is the webinar for digital responsibility. And then we have the schools that participated in the digital responsibility curriculum implementation. You can see Bloomberg schools. Now, Bloomberg schools had quite a number of teachers in the cohort. So there's nothing wrong with monopolizing the cohort. If you have your school and you have teachers that want to be part of the curriculum series, kindly feel free and we'll be very happy to accommodate you. Okay, so we have our very own Mr. Joseph leading the pack at Bloomberg School. You can see his pictures and you can actually go back to this site and look at what they're doing there and all of that. It was pretty exciting. Then we have Bode Daudu. We have so many other people. We have so many other people here. You can see all of these people are from Bloomberg. And we have some schools from South Africa that also joined in. And all the way down there, all the way. I'm trying to scroll down just so you can see that there's so many other people here. So here, we also have my humble self. I participated in curriculum delivery as well. And we have a school from Abuja, International Community School, ICS Abuja. They joined in and it was pretty exciting. Okay, so going back to our slides now, apart from that, now, how does it work? How do you expect the whole system to work? The very first thing we expect each person to do is to participate in each webinar. So we expect that you would not just be a silent participant, but you participate, you send your questions in the chat box, all of that for each of the webinars that we have advertised or for each of the webinars we have mentioned earlier. Sorry, whoever that is, can you please mute your mic? Can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. Okay, so we also expect that you fill the feedback form. So for each of the webinars, we will have a feedback form. That's how we would know that you have participated in the webinar when you fill the feedback form. That's not all we expect from you. We also expect that you will engage with our social media channels. So periodically, we'll be sending you all our social media handles in the WhatsApp group. We expect that you follow us, like us, and share the post and all of that. Engage with the post and share them. We also expect that you would, when you begin the curriculum implementation, you provide feedback for us via pictures and videos, like I mentioned earlier. And then we have what we call cohort check-in. So the cohort check-in meetings, I'll just run you through. So from next week, we will have the webinar for digital responsibility, which is on the 14th. The week after the cohort, the week after the webinar, we expect that you begin to use the material and all of that. And the week after that, we will have our cohort check-in. So cohort check-in meetings will happen 2 weeks after each webinar, okay? So what we expect to do at the cohort check-in is we'll be expecting you to give us feedback. So we'll be having you present. So it won't just be Miss Susan or any member of the team presenting at the meeting. It will be some of you presenting at the meeting, trying to tell us what you've done, how you did it, what you enjoyed about it, and all of that. So, and this would also serve to motivate others that are, part of the meeting as well, you know, to help them make sure that they are also participating and getting results. And that's not all. We have what we call a leaderboard tracking and winner selection. So for each of the parts, for each of the trends rather, we have leaderboard. So for example, if we have digital responsibility, we know that for digital responsibility, we'll be tracking those of us that have done all of the things, those that participated in the webinars, those that filled the forms, and have done all the other things. And the people who do them the fastest would be the leaderboard winners. And then they would win stuff that I will show you shortly. And so that's how it's expected to go. Well, we also want to make sure that we are accountable to one another. And so periodically, we'll be having some pruning activity where people who are inactive in the group, we would delete them out, we'll take them out of the group and restrict their access to all the material. So it's very important that for those of us that want to go the whole 9 yards, we need to make sure that we are as active and as engaging as possible. And like I said before, we have so many of us available. So if you have any challenges, feel free to reach out to anyone and we will be happy to help you. Okay? So remember I talked about winners. So we have Google swag to be won as a thank you to those of us that are active cohort members. And we have things like the Googleforeducation engraved oil and vinegar dispenser. So if you are a foodie like me, you like to cook, this would be a gift that you would really love. And then we have some branded Googleforeducation mugs. We have the poiki pots. So I mean, we all know this three-legged pot. So it's not just a Nigerian phenomenon, apparently. It's an African phenomenon. So this is like a little flower pot you could just put on your table or use as a teapot or as a potted plant, you know, just for a decorative item on your table. We have the wooden salad servers, or those of us that like to cook. We have a glass cutting board. So this is a chopping board, but it's made of glass, and it has the South African flag on it because it was created by a South African artist. Okay, so he wanted to represent his country well. So I'd like you to now take a sneak peek at one of the resource packs. So we have the digital responsibility resource pack here, and there are a myriad of tools in there. I'll just quickly run you through the resource pack just so you can see all of the amazing things that we have in there. All right, so this is the resource pack. We have resources for teachers, resources for the children, resources for families even. So we have the Be Internet Awesome curriculum. We'll be looking at that shortly. We have slides. So if you are a technology-enabled school and you want to share the materials with your children using your smartboard and all of that, we have ready-made slides for you. All you need to do is just download and use. It's that easy. We have classroom posters here, beautiful posters for you to get printed and decorate your classrooms and make the whole place exciting so children can learn how to be internet brave, internet kind, internet alert, internet strong, and internet smart. Okay? We have 5 top tips to remember. These are also posters that you can print out and put in your classrooms. If you have smart boards in your classroom, we have interactive flashcards and all of that presentation with the interactive peer deck activities you can use. We also have Google Forms, so this can be like a quiz for all of the different parts. I will show you the game shortly. And then we have digital learning. We have different classes in here, different short courses you can do with the children or you can assign to them to do on their own. And then we have the digital citizenship and safety course that you can take with your children and let them get Google certified that they are digital citizens and they know how to be digitally safe. All right. So then we have Interland here. Like I said, I would go into all of these places. We even have coloring in activities. So if you have younger children, you can download the coloring books. We have the internet papercraft activity, and then we have the resources for families. So you can send this to your parents. You can see there's a family pledge there. There's a family guide. There's something for family well-being, family link. There is so much to do here. So this is what the Internet Awesome curriculum looks like. You can see that this is 139 pages of lesson plans. All right, so if you look here, you see you even have a guide, how to teach the curriculum, the things to do, a letter to send to parents if you want to, and then you have your lessons here. So you have share with care, don't fall for fake. So share with care is about being internet smart, all right? So share with care and all of that. When you finish all these lessons, then you can play the Interland game, Mindful Mountain. We'll look at the Interland shortly. And this material is designed to take your class for about 6 weeks. So there are so many things for you to choose from the activities you want to do. And imagine that every single emerging trend has materials like this. So this is all of this you are seeing is just from digital responsibility. How cool is that? Okay, so this is also what our Interland site looks like. The Interland game has 4 kingdoms, and in these 4 kingdoms, each of them is talking about something, just the way you saw Interland, the internet smart, the internet alert, and all of that. So welcome to Interland. It's a pretty exciting game. It could be quite addictive. And so here you need to tread with caution. Trust me, I have become addicted to this game myself, okay? So I just want to quickly show you the 4 kingdoms and then we can move on. All right, so as you can see, these are the 4 kingdoms of the Interland game. And the exciting thing is the children can play each of these kingdoms, and at the end, they have a short quiz. If they can answer all the questions correctly, they get a Google certificate to say, oh, they are internet smart, or they are internet kind, or they are internet strong, and all of that. It's really, really exciting. I cannot stress how exciting this is for the children. All right, so if you have older children, we have the Google form of the same quiz I told you about in the Interland game. So they can play the Interland game, and then you can have the quiz here for them and all of that. So at this point, I would like to ask Mr. K to say a few words to us, just so that we can hear his own take on everything and read why is he at the forefront of this, driving this kind of digital transformation in Nigeria. So Mr. K, it's over to you now, sir.
Okay, thanks, Susan. Can you start presenting? I just want to share my screen. So what I'm going to do, first of all, so my name is K. Badikwe. What I'm going to do, first of all, is to show all of us a video and a couple of things, and then I'll say a few things and then hand over to Susan after. So I'm just going to show you guys a video. Can you all see my screen? Victoria, can you let me know? Can you see my screen?
Second.
Okay, so. Okay, what I'm also going to show you. So this is basically the school that my son attends in the UK. He's 15 years old, he's in year 11. I'm going to show you the result of the school. So if you look at this is the GCSE result, 2021, the A levels. So if you just look at the summary at the bottom here, you see that 45% of the students had A stars in all subjects. And then if I just scroll a little bit to the side, you will see that 84.3% of the students had A star or A in all subjects. And so this is A level results, and I'm going to show you the GCSE, the O level results. And this is all last year. So if you look at this, about 83% of the students had 9 to 8, which is basically A star, And if you now take A to A star, about 96% of the students had A or A star in all subjects. So that's what this means, A or A star in all subjects. Now, for you to get into this school in the UK, you've got to be very, very smart. You've got to be very, very smart and to have a very, very tough entrance examination. So this just shows that all these kids that you have in this school that is doing so well, they don't have two heads. And that if you spend time with the children, basically what I've been able to prove in my own personal life is that technology can make a huge difference in the education of our children. And that and really technology can really transform the way teaching and learning is implemented in schools. That's what I've proved in my own private life. And I've also decided to try and prove this also in Nigeria. So, and there's a school in Nigeria that we use as a model for other schools. And I'm going to show you the result of this school later as well, so that you will see that I've been able to replicate what I've done in my own personal life with my children, and also gone to Nigeria to replicate this in the Nigerian environment as well. So I'm going to show you the last result of the school that we started with. So this school has been around for about 15 years, but they never had any really good result until just recently when we started with them. So this is the name of the school. Bloomberg School is in Port Harcourt, and is now ranked as one of the top 10 schools, the best secondary schools in Nigeria. This is a disco. I don't know this company, but I get newsletters from them. So there are only 2 schools in Port Harcourt that are in this top 10, and this school is one of them, as number 7. I'm going to show you the result, the last GCSE result from this school. This is the top 10 students in the school. And you see that in the sciences and mathematics and literacy, that they scored very, very high. So you can see this is all A stars, A stars, A stars, and A's. And that's the result of the top 10. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I have been able to prove in my own personal life that technology can make a difference in education, but I've also proved it in Nigeria as well. So let me just say a few things about myself and how I got into this, and then I'll hand over to Susan. So I actually had very short stints with Shell Nigeria. So I worked for Shell in Lagos, in Warri and Port Harcourt, very short stints. And then I resigned from Shell Nigeria to join Shell in the UK, and also work for Shell in Texas, in Houston, in the States. And a few years ago, I decided I was going to come to Nigeria and see what difference I could make in education in Nigeria. So I got involved with Google. So I had a meeting with Google in the UK. I became a partner with Google. And with Google, we've actually been able to do a lot of work in Nigeria, a lot of projects we've run with Google to make a change in the education environment in Nigeria. And so far, we've actually onboarded over 200 schools to the Google environment in Nigeria. And this webinar series is actually part of some of the projects we've done with Google. And there are still other projects we are planning that are in the pipelines that we're planning with Google, and not just with Google, but also partners in South Africa and also other partners in Nigeria. So please look out. There's going to be more exciting things that you're going to see that we're going to be doing for schools in Nigeria. And that's it from me. Thanks, Susan. Susan, over to you. Susan, are you there?
Thank you so much, sir. It's really heartwarming to see that, amazing things. Yes, I'm here. It's really exciting to see that amazing things can actually happen when we just engage the children using technology and just following emerging trends. Okay, so can everyone hear me? I'm here, I'm talking.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can everyone hear me, please? If you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Just
somebody type, let us know.
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes, we can. We can, please.
Okay, great. All right, so All right, great. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. All right, so right now it's testimonial time, and I'd like to hand over to Victoria. So, Ms. Victoria, could you please just give us your own testimonial? Let us see cohort 1 from your point of view. All right.
All right, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, MQB, for the opportunity to share my experience while being a part of Cohort 1. Okay, so my name is Victoria Victor. I am the ICT teacher at Hope Spring Foundation School in Port Harcourt. Okay, so please confirm you can see my screen. So being a part of Cohort 1 has been really amazing. It brought about my exposure to a lot of emerging trends in technology and education. And this is an example of our class, the Computational Thinking class. So this is a class where children learn coding. And so with the resource parts that was shared, I came across the CS First website that has tons of lesson plans, curriculums, and even goes ahead to teach you how to deliver the lessons. And so our coding classes is usually very fun. Children use codes to make games, to make stories, and do a lot of fun and exciting things. So they always look forward to coming for the coding classes. And of course, if you're looking forward to setting up a coding club, you can always reach out to me. And of course, you can go ahead to set up coding clubs in your school. Another trend I got introduced to was the digital responsibility. So this class teaches children how to behave when they're on the internet, what to do, what not to do, because we're in the era where most of their work is online. And with the big internet awesome website, the children play games in different kingdoms. They're having fun, but of course, while learning what to do and what not to do while they're on the internet. Okay, so another one is the project-based learning. I came across the Applied Digital Skills website and also came across making a promotional flyer lesson. So this lesson teaches children how to make promotional flyers. And it happened at a time when we're about to have our graduation ceremony. So these children made promotional flyers for their graduation ceremony, and you could see different colors, different designs. And of course, I got them printed and they went about sharing it to their friends and families. And they were so proud about doing this. So children learn by doing. My classes are usually very engaging and very hands-on. Also, another one is the virtual tours. Okay, the children love virtual tours. So with the virtual tours, we could visit anywhere in the world while we are in the classroom. And so here are a few places we visited. We visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris and visited the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which is one of the world's most greatest architectural designs that has been standing for years. And also for the boys, we had to visit the Football Museum. And so here in the Football Museum, we could explore the evolution of the World Cup and how it became a global mega event. And it was super exciting. The children always look forward to being in this particular class. So another trend is the life skills and workforce preparation. Now, I also want to say this, that these trends cut across different subjects. And so this is the craft and sewing class. Children use Ankara pieces to make aprons for their cookery classes. So instead of having their parents buy them new ones, they actually made one for themselves and even went ahead to sell it. So this is a project-based learning approach while teaching them entrepreneurship as well. They get to understand the value of money and how they can make money for themselves. This is also another class, the flower vase and the piggy bank class. And so in this class, children made bow ties with which they wore proudly to their different religious denominations. So some of them went ahead to sell it, and save it in their piggy bank. Super amazing, right? Okay. And this is the carpentry class. Now, this happens in the science class. And so here, the children learned that they cannot just only be doctors, okay, pilots, and all that. They also got to learn vocational skills. So this was just a piece of wood lying around school, and they took it up, cut it into pieces, learned measuring as well, and went ahead to make a stool for themselves. So each classes had stools, and they were super excited having a stool they made with their very hands in the classroom. Next is a student-led learning with Google Classroom. So when the pandemic came, learning had to continue. And so we started using Google Classroom. And so it gave us the opportunity to connect with our children, communicate with teachers, and students learned to communicate with the Google Classroom. And the good part is lessons can be placed in the Google Classroom, and also children who cannot be in school, maybe for one reason or the other, can still be a part of the class even while they are away. And next is Google Forms. So with Google Forms, we can go ahead to create assessments, whether it's formative or cumulative assessments. So in our school, we've said goodbye to paper examinations. So the children write the examination using Google Forms, and they get their scores immediately. It helps with automatic grading. We've said goodbye to the red pen, actually. And of course, the highlight for me at the last cohort was joining a league of super trainers like Joseph of Bloomberg Schools, Antonia of Dovecourt School here in Port Harcourt, and also Beatrice Miller, a grade 6 teacher in South Africa. So for me, that was really super amazing, and it was fun. So lastly, I want to leave you with this, that the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. You are here already. So I want to encourage you to be very active, because there is so much you're going to get out of it. I was in cohort 1, and you've seen my testimonies. I am back in cohort 2 because I am not just done yet. So thank you so much for listening, and I'm going to hand over to Susan.
Thank you so much, Victoria. It's always an exciting time hearing your story and all of the amazing things that you've been able to achieve. So I'll be sharing Toby's experience with you all. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen, please. All right, so Toby actually worked with a school called Redeemer's Prime School, and it was a technologically disadvantaged school, meaning they didn't even have laptops, and she had to provide a few laptops for them to share, and the children had a great time. So she started with the digital responsibility, and then she moved all the way to computational thinking and all of that. Children couldn't believe that they could actually learn coding, in little or no time. And she achieved this using the CS First curriculum from the Computational Thinking resource pack. She also worked with the Bitmoji classroom. So all of us will be learning how to use Bitmoji classrooms when we engage with student-led learning resource pack. Okay, so she worked with, there was something we did called the Walkabout Africa project. And what this was some of us got paired with teachers in South Africa. So some of us worked with teachers in South Africa to create Bitmoji classrooms where they look like just a picture, but children can learn about the country by clicking anything they see in the picture, and it will take them somewhere exciting to get some new information about that country. So we worked on different countries. So she worked on Eritrea with a teacher from South Africa, and it was pretty exciting for her. And then the icing on the cake was that after all of the things she did with the materials from the cohort, she got really excited and wanted to learn more. And then she got a partial scholarship from MKB Consulting for the Google Certified Educator Bootcamp. She attended the bootcamp, she wrote the exam, and now she's a Google Certified Educator Level 1. Now, this is an internationally accepted certificate, so she can actually present this anywhere, and they would instantly identify her as part of an elite team of teachers. So she enjoyed all of this just from being part of Cohort 1. So just like Victoria said, she was here in Cohort 1 as a participant. Today, she's back in Cohort 2 as a team member. So, I mean, this is a story, just like it has been Victoria's story, and it has also been Toby's story. So, at this point, I would like to ask if anyone has questions. So, do we have any questions in the chat box? I haven't seen any questions there. So, please, if you have a question, you can leave your question in the chat box and we will answer them right away. I must say, this has been a very exciting project to work on, especially with working with Cohort 1. You know, I came on to Cohort 1 as a team member, but I have learned so many things. I cannot even quantify the skills, the tools, the things I have learned. For one, the most exciting thing I think I learned, to be honest with you, is the Bitmoji classroom. Okay, so we have a question here. What are the gadgets needed for virtual tours? Actually, the only gadgets you would need are your smartphones or your computer. And the tool for that is Google Earth. We'll be learning more about that when we start working with the student-led learning resource pack. But that's Google Earth, okay? So that question has been answered. So like I was saying, for me, the Bitmoji classroom was the most exciting part for me because it's something where children have more agency over their own learning. So in their mind, they're choosing their own adventure. So I have set my learning goals, my objectives. I know what I want to achieve, but they feel like, oh, they're doing this first and then doing that. But at the end of the day, when they're done with the entire Bitmoji classroom, my objectives are achieved and they feel as though they made the choice, you know. So all of these tools, all of these resources, it takes the multiple intelligence into consideration. It takes cross-curricular activities into consideration. If you remember, Victoria said it cuts across several subjects. So when we say, you know, don't expect things like math or English, just expect the Google tools and you can use them in any of these areas. All right, so remember I said we are available to support you every step of the way on WhatsApp. There are phone calls. You can put your message in the group or you can actually message us privately and all of that. Okay, so do we have provision for learning disabilities? Well, it all depends on what kind of learning disability and what resource pack you're working with. So obviously, if you're working with something where the children have to create lesson plans or business plans and all that, it may not provide for children who are blind. Okay, so well, for dyslexia and dyscalculia, now you know that for dyslexia and dyscalculia, they're afraid of math, they're afraid of English. So the Google tools will provide options for them to explore their fears and engage their interests. So if you do use this correctly, yes, it can help with dyslexic children or dyscalculic children. Okay, so do we have any other questions? We seem to have only one questioning educator in the room. Okay, yes, so the rundown of the program, yes, we have each of the webinars and their dates, so we'll share that on the WhatsApp group as well, just so you see, and we'll also be providing reminders for the webinars so that you don't forget any of the webinars, all right? So thank you, Ebele, for that question, and I hope that we answered your question correctly.
But Susan, do you want to make a slide that has the schedule, or you don't want to?
Okay, so I will go back there, and then I will take a screenshot of that, and then share to the group shortly. Well, do you need any app to download or website? Well, basically Google tools. If you're using a computer, you don't really need to download anything per se. But if you're using your phone, you might want to download things like Google Meet, like we're using now, or Google Earth and all of that. Yeah, but you can basically use the web versions for most of these things, especially if you're working with a laptop. Okay, so I'll just quickly scroll through. Get back to all right, so well, this is the plan. So remember, digital responsibility next week, Friday, which is 14th January, and all of that. So I'll be sharing these dates, just screenshots of these slides on the group so that we have an idea about each of these dates. And of course, we'll be providing reminders in there as well as on social media. So stay tuned to our social media channels, stay attentive and participating in the WhatsApp group, and engage us if you have any additional questions to ask us. All right. I'm really enjoying the questions and the level of engagement. It shows that
Susan, I would also suggest that we send invites for all these dates already into people's calendars so that they have it in their calendars already, so they can plan. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Inamdi, can you put that in the action point 5, please, for the group?
Okay, so we'll be sending out invites for each of these dates, and we'll include them in your calendar just so you get reminders via email as well. And you can check your calendar to see all of the things you have coming up. Yes, the links will be pasted in the WhatsApp group for the social media handles and all of that. All of those links will be pasted in the WhatsApp group. Thank you, Ijoma, for that. Okay, so in the absence of any other questions, I'd just like to say this has really been an exciting time. Thank you, Chioma. Thank you so much. Okay, well, it was Victoria that said you could reach out to her to form a coding club. So that's Victoria. So please, not Susan. If you reach out to Susan to set up a coding club, Susan will reach out to Victoria and then get back to you. So you can just cut through the red tape and reach out to Victoria directly. All right, so how do you get to Victoria? Victoria will be in the WhatsApp group as well. So she'll just mention that so you can private chat her if you would need the coding club set up for you. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you, Sarima. Thank you, Ijoma. Thank you, Chioma. Thank you so much, everyone that was part of this meeting. We really appreciate it. We do not take your participation for granted at all. We look forward to a thoroughly exciting time with you. And we know that you will spread the word to other educators that you know. We need to make this message go viral. I mean, right now, Mommy Geo is going viral in Nigeria. So let's make the Google webinar and curriculum series go viral, if there is any word like that. Oh, Cynthia Forum, thank you for joining the meeting. I'm happy to see you here. All right, so the WhatsApp invites will be sent to your emails a few minutes after this meeting. And if you haven't already joined the group from here, we'll be sending that to you shortly. So look out for that, please. Thank you so much. All right, so it's been a really exciting time, and I'm happy we've stayed within our time.